Hey everyone, welcome to another match of Simic Typhoon Control. Today we are playing Azorius Control. Super fun control against control, yay! So let's see how this turns out. I'm actually really looking forward to it. So the Azorius Control deck is definitely, I guess, more pure control than what we're playing, right? I mean, I put control in the deck's name, but I mean, and we are playing a lot more of a control strategy here, but I mean, let's face it, I mean, how many control decks have as many threats as we do? Not many. Most play 25 to 28 lands and have one threat that's pretty much going to kill you. So let's see which control deck is better here. So we had a pretty good hand. A pretty good hand indeed. Starting off with Noble Hierarch, we have a turn 2 Storming Entity, and we didn't even have to use Manamorphose yet. So, assuming that Storming Entity sticks, next turn we can get a second one, and have Stubborn Denial to protect them. So, this should be fun. So let's see what comes down. We are playing Azorius Control, so they definitely play Path to Exile. But now that they allowed this to resolve, they allowed us to untap, we're going to play Manamorphose, see if it gets countered. It may very well get countered. Looks like it is. So they're going to remand it. And I decide, you know what? No, I'm going to Stubborn Denial it. And they force it. So they really wanted to remand that Manamorphose. And we lose a Stubborn Denial because of it. You know, in retrospect, maybe I should have let the remand resolve, considering that we were going to get the card back in our hand. So that stack is going to resolve. We are still going to get a 5/5, now 6/6 Storming Entity flying and hitting our opponent, so yeah, that's a thing. Next turn we can try again. Question is here, do they just pass? Stoneforge Mystic, so there we go. That's good. I'm happy with that. Not really. Not really happy with that at all. Batterskull, of course. Of course. So Vapor Snag would be nice right now. There we go. So we're going to try Manamorphose again. We have no way of protecting our creatures at this point. We draw a Mana Leak. So Storming Entity will come down. We see Mishra's Bauble. We're probably going to scry that away, but Euro is definitely welcome here. Now the real question is, do we Vapor Snag Stoneforge immediately? And I think we should. Just to kind of slow down that Batterskull coming onto the battlefield. The gambit here is that we essentially kill our opponent this turn. Well, this coming turn. If we don't, yeah, it's good. So our opponent had no way of coming back from that. They give up. That was a nice, swift game one. I'm happy about that. So what are we bringing in? Veil Summer, 100%. Wilt, 100%. Definitely bringing that in. Getting rid of Mishra's Bauble. Dismember. Yeah, I mean, I do need more removal, right? Whether it's to Dismember Stoneforge or Dismember a Germ token. But it looks like I'm going back and forth on that idea. Because I do have Wilt. So Wilt can take care of Batterskull or any other artifact that our opponent gets. Interesting. So that was the final decision. I removed some Mana Leaks to make room for the Dismember and the rest. This hand is kind of ugly. I'm almost certainly going to mulligan this one. Yeah. So I'm mulliganing it because it's just horrible. It's not. If those two Shark Typhoons were like maybe one Shark Typhoon and then one threat, I'd be fine with it. But two Shark Typhoons, it's a bit rough. And now we're going to go down to 5 cards. It's just, I mean, I would have kept that 7 compared to that 6. And we're going to go down to 4 cards. Not looking good for game 2. If I lose this game, it's almost certainly because we went down to 4. And not the best 4. Oh, that's horrible. That's just horrible. So we draw Manamorphose. No one really cares. Oh god, just reliving this is just painful. Painful. And we're playing a control deck, so you know, they're probably gonna... Oh, there we go. Stoneforge Mystic, great. So what are they gonna get? Batterskull, of course. Every time it's Batterskull. Never surprised. We do draw Wilton time. That's always great. But yeah, we're gonna slam down our little 1/2 Tarmogoyf there. Let's see what our opponent does. So Field of Ruin, and they're probably gonna pass the turn. All right. So they're gonna bring Batterskull down at the end of our turn if we don't do something that they would hate to see. At this point, I'm contemplating just playing Manamorphose. And potentially eliciting a response. We don't get any. Draw land. Pretty much no choice here. We're going to play our second Tarmogoyf. And we get a remand. Okay. Well, it does mean that Batterskull does not come down this turn, which is great. I was essentially expecting some sort of response to a spell we cast. So I'm not shocked there. Unfortunately, Xmage kind of messed up here. I did fix this issue after this game, but for now you're going to have to deal with Teferi looking like a blob of cyan. Just trying to think of the color there. But yeah, okay. So now Teferi comes down, bumps our Tarmogoyf to our hand, and we're getting ready to hit that concede button because this is not looking good. So now we can play 2 Tarmogoyfs in one turn, which is a good thing. But we need to deal with Teferi here. And this turn, our opponent can bring down their Batterskull, which we have an answer for if it resolves. But let's see what happens. So Teferi's going to +1. Tension Sphere, and that's where I can see. Yep, because Tarmogoyfs are going away. And yeah, we got no time for that. Do we need to make any changes to the composition of the deck? I don't think we do. I don't think there's anything we need to really bring in here. Let's see if I did. But I can't imagine I want to remove something. Yeah. No. We just can't mulligan to 4. It's essentially the trick here. So this hand is definitely a keep. That's a good hand. Not the best, not the worst. Yeah, so game 2 we just really got hammered there. Let's see what game 3 looks like. So we're going to open up with a Serum Visions. Draw Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah, I don't think we need another Force Negation, but a Euro would be nice. So again, here, my issue with Mystic Sanctuary and why I don't think it works in decks like this is because now we have to make the call, okay, do we play Mystic Sanctuary now? It comes in tapped, we don't do anything this turn. You know, or next turn, if we don't draw a land, we're going to not be able to play our Euro on curve. And it's just, I just hate it. And this is why I really do not enjoy playing Mystic Sanctuary. You really have to play it in a deck that plays more lands. And I don't like playing those type of decks. So I think I'm probably going to remove Mystic Sanctuary before I do my deck recap. Alright, so our opponent does nothing. We draw a second Euro. Fantastic. So we're going to play that Mystic Sanctuary tapped. Completely useless. And we're going to attack in for 2 and see if something happens. Aether Gust, of course. Of course. So we decided to put their Tarmogoyf to the top. We need threats here. Teferi comes down again. Well, the blob Teferi. We're definitely going to force a negation that. That's not going to resolve. I have no patience for dealing with that Teferi. So we draw our Tarmogoyf, but yeah, I think Euro is probably going to make the most sense here. We draw land, which is fantastic. Alright. Usually when your opponent does nothing on their turn, you feel great, but not when you're playing a control deck. Yeah, 4 untapped mana, which is basically saying, try it. Try it, buddy. Try and resolve something. That's great. Well, we're going to try. We're going to try and resolve Tarmogoyf next turn. Trying to be cheeky there. Alright, well, Stubborn Denial is a good draw, if we can make Tarmogoyf stick. We can't. Well, that's that. We'll try again next turn. What do you think, guys? You think our opponent has a counterspell in hand? Let's try Tarmogoyf again. Alright, it resolves. Beautiful. That's fantastic. All we need now is a land. And we can cast Euro next turn and have Stubborn Denial up as well. Batterskull. Well, we definitely got to counter this, right? Yeah, we do. So let's see if that sticks. Path to Exile. Yeah, no. I'm going to save my Tarmogoyf. Make it a 5/6. That was actually a super powerful play. That was an awesome turn. Just awesome. So we're going to swing in with our 5/6. And now we're going to cast Euro. And there we go. So now we have our Euro on the battlefield. At 22 life, we have a 5/6 Tarmogoyf as well. Realistically, I mean, our opponent may have a second Batterskull in their deck. Let's just see. They don't. They have Sword of Fire, Feast and Famine. All right. Vapor Snag is an awesome draw, just in time. Just in time. So we're going to swing in here, and we're going to deal insane amounts of damage. Yep. So let's see. There we go. Yep, so, I mean, our opponent's probably going to cast their sword, attach it to Stoneforge, but I really don't see how that's going to save them here. Either way, we have Vapor Snag, so if they don't have an answer for Vapor Snag, it's game over. Here we go. Moment of the truth. Vapor Snag. And it's game. Alright, so we made it there. So game 2, I feel we were just super unlucky. I think we could have done better if we didn't go down to 4 as an opener. Game 1 and game 3, I feel like most of the time we were ahead. And we were just a better control deck or whatever. Midway control deck, I guess. Not cruel enough to be full on control, but control nonetheless. But we did have threats, and our opponent had to deal with our threats. Our opponent had to deal with our permission, and it just, you know, it keeps them busy, and it makes their resource usage a lot more important for them. For us, we just need to keep the pressure on. And we did, and we won, and that's how we want things to go, right? So I was really happy with the Simic Typhoon control, and as you can see, it plays pretty well even against a control deck, as we saw in these 3 games. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter. I try and stay relatively active. All of that stuff really helps me out. I know it looks simple to you, but for me it makes a big difference. And of course, a big shout out to my patrons. Thanks, and have a good one.